Hi, I'm Arn Menconi. I'm with Mid-Press News, and we're here at the Morton County Courthouse where water protectors are being arraigned on different types of charges. And this is just about an hour north of Standing Rock, where people have been arrested. Over 400 people have been arrested trying to stop the DAPO pipeline from being connected underneath the Missouri River. And I'm here with LaDonna Brave Bull, Allard. Hi, sorry.
Hello, I'm LaDonna Brave Bull Allard from Standing Rock Sioux Tribe. I'm an enrolled member. I am owner of Sacred Stone Camp. We have been on ground for 7 months and 7 days today, standing in prayer to do our best to stop Dakota Access Pipeline. Dakota Access Pipeline is going to, as we speak today, a Rickawa Village ground, a burial ground, cultural and historic properties, and through my home.
How long have you lived at Standing Rock? Your whole life?
60 years.
60 years. Thank you. And so you said 7 months ago this started, but was there some time beforehand that the people at Standing Rock started to learn, or was this when it was diverted from Bismarck over to the reservation?
In 2014, we got notice from Dakota Access that they were going to propose to build a pipeline. Wash Day Wee Young at the Tribal Historic Preservation Office contacted me and said, come up and talk to me. So I went out and I looked at the map and I noticed I was the closest landowner. Then she said, you have to come to the meeting. So I went to the meeting, and at that time Chairman Dave Archambault had told them, no, we don't support this pipeline. The Tribal Historic Preservation had a whole document saying, no, they don't support this pipeline. Then at the end of the meeting, I told the blonde-haired lady from Dakota Access that I will be standing there. We do not support this pipeline. So then from there, they stopped communicating with us. And we tried to figure out how to get back into the process. So we know that according to the federal law, when there is a federal undertaking, they have to tribally consult with tribal governments. So we knew that the Army Corps had to issue a permit. So we started working with the Army Corps to try to get them to acknowledge us, because this pipeline would be devastated to our waters and all the waters going down to the river. So you know how the river is. You got to imagine this big giant tree. And the tree has all these roots. And the tree grows up and it has great branches that comes out. But the roots, our roots are dying in the Gulf of Mexico. The major branch of our tree, the Mississippi, is dying. The Missouri is still a live branch. If we can save this branch, it could bring the tree back to life. That water represents the majority of the people in the United States. We are not standing for ourselves, we're standing for the people. And so it's a bigger issue than just this one small part. It's everybody. Because the tree expands to all these tributaries. And I don't even know if people understand the whole concept of how precious water is. For in our culture, our people go 4 days with no food and no water. So on that third day, you dream of the water. On the fourth day, your body starts dying because there is no water. We do that every year to remind ourselves how important the water is. I think everybody should do that, so they understand that water is precious. And so we have no choice but to stand up, because if we don't stand for the water here, we will all die. People cannot live without water. Second, as you know, and everybody in the world knows, water is female. The protectors of the water are female. Through water, we give birth and bring children into this world. So we, the women, must stand up to protect the water of the world. It is our job. So our children and our grandchildren can live.
So you're outside of this courtroom because friends and family have stood up to try to stop the pipeline. What can you say about the protectors who have been arrested and what you're witnessing, and want others to know about that?
What can you say? These people gave up part of their lives to be here. They have come and stood. They've given everything. And I'm honored by each one that comes here. When we put out the call and the people came, it was so overwhelming. I could not believe all of these people came. One woman from Virginia told me, she said, I waited all my life for this call. All my life. So I sold everything. I packed everything in the car to come here. Who does that? There is something greater than ourselves happening here.
Yes.
The people who are on the front line, all these people have came forward. They have been abused. These police officers have abused people. They have pepper sprayed them. They have put dogs on us. They have beaten people with batons, and they're standing still. To me, I have never seen a greater humanity than these people who stand here. It's kind of overwhelming still that they come here. And they're still coming.
There's over 7,000 people there, and on the Standing Rock Reservation, there were 5 camps, and 2 of them were taken down just in a week or so, and roads are now being blocked, laws are being broken. These camps where people are coming to and now actually living and setting up a home for themselves. What was there before? Is this the Standing Rock people saying, please come here and be here with us? It's the unity and the solidarity. I've never seen anything like it before. Is the lighting okay?
Mm-hmm. It's been kind of overwhelming. You know, when I first put out the call, I thought maybe 40 people would come stand with us. And I remember for the first few days after July 15th, thousands were coming in. And I think I cried for about the first 4 days. I was so overwhelmed. And then I had to get to logistics. How do we feed all these people? How do we take care of all these people? And whether anybody knows it or not, we are now, seventh now, largest town in North Dakota. And yesterday we officially became the largest York city in the world, in America right now. And I think that with all the people out there, we have voting rights. Because North Dakota has a 30-day residency.
Oh my gosh.
And so each one of these people can be a voting representative in North Dakota. How cool is that? So I think we created a city. But not only that, the solidarity. So we have people from all over the world. This is not America anymore. This
People
is
are
the world.
following clearly from all over the world.
So we had the Amazon, we've had the Samis, we've had the Mongolias, yay, the Mongolias in the earth. Every type of the Aboriginals, the Maoris. Of course, we stand with the mountain, with the Hawaiians. Everybody is on the ground. And then there are solidarity marches and supports all over the world right now. Every day. They ask me, what can we do? What can we do to help? Go to your own water and pray. Go to your own water and stand up. Let's change the world. It's time. We cannot spend any more time with dirty fuel. We cannot spend any more time destroying ourselves. We must have the right to live. And that right to live means clean water. It's plain and simple to me. We have a right to live, and we have a right to clean water.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
Aaron, would you like? We have Aaron here who just came out of the court. Ian, sorry. Ian, would you like to step up here for a second? Ian,
follow that.
sorry. Yeah. No, I think your story is very powerful because, again, you just came out of the courtroom. The judge, you went before the judge, but you came from where again?
Asheville, North Carolina.
Asheville, very pretty place, lots of rivers down there. Do you kayak or hang out down by the river at all, fish?
Oh yeah, I live pretty close to the river and hike down there a lot.
What brought you up here?
Well, I work for Rosetta, and she came up here a couple months ago, brought a kitchen, and was setting that up, and then ended up leaving some people here, and then came back home. Was really was going to go back again. Offered me a ride, and I had 2 weeks to decide. Everything I was hearing about it was just bringing tears to my eyes, and I just felt so called to come.
Is it like a calling? Does it feel like anything you felt before?
No, it feels like it wasn't like I wanted to leave home. It was like I had to I couldn't morally just stay there and let this happen without trying to help. So.
Did you have to leave a job?
Yeah, 2 jobs and home. And
How long have you been up here?
almost a month now.
And so why did you have to stand before a judge today? What happened?
We went out to support some people who were locked down on some equipment, and we're just walking and praying, and ended up getting intercepted by police in riot gear and being maced and corralled.
What were the charges?
Arrested. Criminal trespass and engaging in a riot.
Okay. How many were arrested that day that you think came in the courthouse or the jail with you?
I heard 127. I'm not sure if that's the correct figure.
What day was that?
It was Saturday, the 22nd.
Of October?
Yeah.
Were you maced?
I was not. I saw people get maced.
Handcuffed?
Yes.
When you were brought in here, you were charged with a misdemeanor?
Yes, 2.
Were you read your rights?
Not by the police officers when I was arrested. I mean, I guess just in there at arraignment.
Have you decided to ask for an attorney?
Yeah.
And when do you have to come back to court?
Said I had a pre-trial the 9th of January and trial the 13th.
Will you be staying here at Standing Rock, or will you be going home to Nashville?
I can't say for sure, but I'm going to stay as long as I can. I'm on medication. It's kind of, if I run out, then I have to go home, but I'm going to stay until I run out. So.
Well, you have a tremendous amount of courage. For people who are thinking about coming out here and being in solidarity, when you decided to stand with those people who were chaining themselves to the equipment, were you afraid? What happened? Did you feel like it was just something you needed to do? Explain for people that moment of realization for you. Have you ever been arrested before?
I've never been arrested before, and I mean, of course there's an element of fear to it, but I think courage is just being able to overcome that and do the right thing anyway, regardless of how afraid you feel.
Right. Any last words for the viewers?
I mean, I just think even if you can't get out here, there's a lot of things you can do at home that would help these people, and certainly a good cause to be helping. So, no dapple.
You're a leader. Thank you very much for your power. Thank you. So, again, just if you're joining us, we're here at the Morton County Courthouse outside of room 305, where arraignments are going on for different people who have been arrested with misdemeanors and felonies. And we wanted you to listen to some of the stories of the people who are out here in the hallway. There's about 50 people who are out here. We're going to interview this one woman who may have to go in the middle in order to have her case heard. But again, there's been people throughout the day. This is not every single day, but people are in direct actions. And so please make sure that you're giving to the legal fund at standingrock.org. Do you have a moment to join us? Okay. And again, your name, please?
Kanahus Beshki Manuel. I'm Sukwatmuk and Tanaka tribes.
And where's your home?
Sukwatmuk Uluk up in so-called British Columbia, Canada. We're here to fight this pipeline. We're also dealing with a big pipeline fight up in BC, the Trans Mountain Kinder Morgan pipeline.
Just, do you know the length of that pipeline? This one's almost 1,200 miles. How much?
Oh, no, it's a lot longer than that. I'm not exactly sure, but 50% of it goes through our territory, and our territory is the size of current-day Florida. So it's like a massive amount that this pipeline will be going through. A Trans Mountain, which They want to bring it through countless mountains and glacier creeks and streams. And it's my relatives, it's the Sundance family that my family goes to that made a call from Red Warrior Camp to come out here, and that's how I ended up here. And on October 22nd, we went out for a prayer walk. And really went to go meet up with some of our comrades that were locked down on some of the machines and stopping the pipeline construction for that day. So when we left the encampment to walk there, we didn't make it there. The riot police had formed lines and they ended up kettling us in, and that's when they arrested the 140 people. We didn't make it to the comrades that were locked down, but what we had found out later was really distressing, and what happened to them, and how the police responded to them. They waterboarded them, they hooded them like they do to torture victims. And so this is what they're doing to Native youth that are going
Under 18.
Well, Native youth aren't considered just under 18, like young Native people,
Right.
and that they're doing this too. So this needs to be exposed worldwide, is the treatment that Morton County has inflicted upon Indigenous people. Like, we're already seeing major Indigenous and human rights violations happening right now. As we go to the front lines of this pipeline fight, we see how aggressive the police state will come down on water protectors, as on Indigenous land defenders, as freedom fighters, really. We are fighting not just against the pipeline, but we are fighting for our freedom as Indigenous people.
You left the fight to come down to this fight, is that?
Yeah, I have like many frontline fights at home. We're dealing with a lot of issues. We're dealing with the modern day treaty process that is being pushed on our people right now. We're dealing with the pipeline. We're dealing with one of the world's largest mine tailings disasters that happened in our territory. So I've left a lot of my commitments, my personal commitments, my movement and my family commitments to come down here and support, because this is where it's at right now. In Indigenous country, this is the ground zero.
So Trudeau's the new prime minister, and everyone thinks he's this great liberal hope, but you're telling me he's just facilitating what's going on? Has he ignored this, turned his back? Where's the similarities of what's happening in your territory to what's happening here?
Well, genocide continues. It has continued across Turtle Island, across the globe. When you're talking about forcibly removing Indigenous peoples from their territory, that's a form of genocide. There's so much similarities in our struggle straight across this globe when you're talking about African and Indigenous peoples. One of the things is that the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, his father, and we must always remember Pierre Elliott Trudeau, who is really trying to push the extermination of Indigenous people and our rights through the white paper policy.
Right.
Native people mobilized across Canada to push that white paper policy out, and actually Native people had their rights reaffirmed within the Constitution. And this is like the racism that his father was pushing in the country at the time. And so when he comes in, Justin Trudeau coming in as a youthful prime minister, but what we see is that he is continuing on the legacy of his father in his racist views. And also Canada right now is pulling in investors from around the world to invest in the last of the remaining resources. We say like the last frontier right now going through Indian country, no matter if it's oil or gas or minerals or water. They're coming with whatever type of aggression and the maximum form of aggressions to come and take the last of our land. And that's why we're here standing together.
You're a tremendously powerful speaker. You went in, and I'm trying to get people to understand, before you stood up and the police were about to handcuff you, what was going through your mind? Can you give power to people who are standing up in order to stop these corporations from this genocide?
Well, there's hundreds of police and riot police full riot gear that have surrounded us. They surrounded us in an empty field that was one field away from the double site, the Dakota Access Pipeline construction site. So they feel so threatened by us, women in skirts with children and elders, that they're going to bring hundreds of police and deploy hundreds of police from these rural North Dakota towns into even more rural North Dakota. This is like out in the middle of nowhere, what people would say, and they're deploying this much police against us. And they are threatened because the Dakota Access Pipeline and pipeline infrastructures in this country is one of their top priorities in making sure that this goes through. Any type of energy infrastructure, any type of transportation corridors, this is how they're going to get the last of our remaining resources to the global market, and it's about money.
With your deep thinking, where do you see things going in the next month or two? No one's really explaining the story going forward. What are you feeling? What would you like to say?
There's going to continue to be an escalation of actions by the people because the people have had enough. They've seen that all of this mobilization, this global mobilization that has happened in solidarity with Standing Rock, is not making any moves in stopping this Dakota. So people are feeling that they need to escalate into even bigger mobilizations, critical mass, more actions, more direct actions to expose some of the main culprits involved here.
And so yesterday we were at the water and we were about to get into an action. We came up here from Colorado and Florida to be in an action, but it was stopped by the elders. And so what I'm interested in is this contrast between those like yourself who are standing out inside of a courtroom, who I've overheard you say you're not going to ask for an attorney. Very powerful stance. Probably want a trial hearing so that you can use up their resources. What this tension inside of the activists who are saying pray, peace, patient, and the others who are saying like yourself, lay down, stop, be in front of the front lines. Where will this go if the pipeline is that close to a connection?
I think the first thing is that we always have to remember that our fight is against the Dakota Access Pipeline. Our fight is against this American government that continues to colonize our people. And we have to use the word colonization involved in this, because when we come into a mass movement and organizing in a struggle like this, and we start making decisions based on mass amounts of people, we are going to have different opinions in the way that we move. But one thing that we have to know is that we're all here for one thing, and that's for the water. And no matter what movement and what struggle we're in throughout this world, there's always going to be a difference in opinion. And it's going to be able to be how the organizers, how the people in this movement are going to continue to stay on focus. We're against the pipeline, we're against this government that continues to push infrastructure and resource extraction like this. So there always will be these types of things that come up, but we can't focus on them. We have to focus on how we're going to build that unity and what's the rallying cry that's going to bring us all together, and that's our water. We're fighting against oppression, we're fighting against genocide.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good luck. All right. Well, I think that was very powerful for me. I'm going to have to take a break from this just to collect, but let me just summarize. We're leaving here. I'm going back to Colorado. Tomorrow's the election. First and foremost, can you please make a donation to standingrock.org for the legal funds for the people who are on the front lines? Secondly, consider coming out here. There are so many different ways people are bearing witness, people are helping cook, people are in the front lines. This isn't all just a direct action. But I'll guarantee you this, you're going to learn about what these people spoke about, the dehumanization of all of these different people. But it starts with the indigenous people. And water is life. This is what we're saying here. We're saying here that we need to come together in solidarity and unity. You'll find your role. It's a calling. Thank you, and please share this story with your loved ones and families, and please get out in the next 24 hours and get people to be in action and vote for those who are trying to stop global warming and stopping fracking. Peace. Spread the love.